So do you also want to automatically generate the care instructions? Then this video is definitely for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect, and in this video we are going to understand how to build an AI agent to auto-generate Google Docs care instructions. So like you, I also used to manually generate the care instructions, but this is such a time-consuming and a tedious task. So to solve this problem, I've simply created this amazing automation where what is going to happen is that as soon as I add the product details into my spreadsheet, automatically my AI agent is going to generate me the care instructions, and further we can add that care instructions into our Google Docs and then back again towards our Google Sheets. So to do this, we are simply going to create a connection between Google Sheets, my AI agent, which is OpenAI, Google Docs, and then Google Sheets. And to create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to come with me towards my screen.
Welcome to my screen. So in this video, I'll show you how to build an AI agent that automatically generates care instructions in Google Docs based on the product details entered in spreadsheet. So it is perfect for a skincare business who want to customize their products and increase their services after the sales. So let's dive in and make post-purchase experience smoother with this AI-powered documentation. So over here, I'm running a skincare brand, and what happens is that whenever a product order is made, the details of that order has been added right over here in my spreadsheet, which is the customer name, product purchase, skin type, and concern. And now further, I want to send all of my customers care instructions. So what we're going to do is I'm simply going to enter all of these details one by one right over here, which is the customer name. Then I'm just going to enter the product purchase. Then I'm just going to enter the skin type and the concerns. And now using these details automatically, my AI agent is going to generate me the care instructions and add that care instructions right over here. So we're just going to wait for a few seconds till the care instructions are getting generated. And as you can see, the care instructions have been generated right over here. So I'm just going to open it. And over here, you can see the care instructions have been generated. How is demo user going to use that product in all the details? So yes, you can see that within seconds in real time, the care instructions was generated. And now further, my team can review these care instructions and send it to our user. So yes, you can see this is the powerful automation which we are going to build in today's video. And if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to watch this tutorial till the end. So to do this, we are simply going to open a new tab, and we're going to open the landing page of Pabbly Connect simply by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. And now it is opening the landing page of Pabbly Connect, and over here we're going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can click on this sign up for free, and you're going to get 100 of tasks free every month to explore the application. But over here I am an existing user, so I'm simply going to click on this button which says sign in. And once we're going to click on this sign in, it is opening all Pabbly apps, and over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video, we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm simply going to click on this access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connect account. And once we're going to click on this access now, it is opening my dashboard. And to get started with this automation, we simply have to click on this button which says create workflow. And now it is asking me for the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So over here I want to save the workflow in this folder which is automations, and on my dashboard you can see all the folders which I have already created and which I save my workflows. So if you also want to create a new folder, you can go to this create new folder button and create your own. I have already created, so I'm just going to save my workflow in this only, which is automations. And now I'm just going to name my workflow as AI agent to auto-generate Google Docs care instructions, and then we are simply going to click on this button which says create. And once we're going to click on this create, it is going to open the most important window of our automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger and actions are the two main principles on which our workflow is going to run. Trigger means when this happens, and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the actions are response towards the commands given by a trigger, and that's the particular reason that we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of a trigger in a particular workflow. And to get started, we are simply going to select our trigger application. So for my trigger application, I'm simply going to select it as Google Sheets. So I'm just going to search for Google Sheets right over here, and as you can see the same, so we are simply going to select it. And now it is asking me for the trigger event. So for the trigger event, I'm simply going to select it as new or updated spreadsheet row. And now it is giving me a webhook URL. So we're going to use this same webhook URL in order to create a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connect's workflow. So I'm just going to copy this webhook URL right from here, and then we're going to follow these instructions given right over here. So I'm simply going to open my spreadsheet, and after opening the spreadsheet, we have to go towards this extensions, add-ons, and then towards this get add-ons. And after coming over here towards this get add-ons, we have to add an extension in the spreadsheet, which is Pabbly Connect webhooks. So I'm simply going to search for Pabbly Connect webhooks right over here, and as you can see that I have already installed this extension. So if you haven't installed this extension, you can install it right from here. Because I've already installed this extension, so it is giving me the option of uninstall right over here. You can simply install the extension right from here, and once you're going to install the extension, you have to refresh your spreadsheet. So it is a really important step to refresh your spreadsheet, otherwise you'll not be able to get the option of Pabbly Connect webhooks right over here in your extensions tab. And after getting the option of Pabbly Connect webhooks, we simply have to go towards this and then towards this initial setup. And after coming over here towards the initial setup, we simply have to enter the webhook URL and the trigger column. So for my webhook URL, we are simply going to paste the URL which we copied from our workflow. And now for the trigger column, I'm simply going to enter my trigger column, which is D right over here. So the trigger column will be your final data column, on which if the data is added, the whole of that row will be sent towards your webhook URL. So for me, the trigger column is D. For you, it can be according to your spreadsheet, all right? And I'm simply going to click on this blue button which says submit. And once we're going to click on this submit, it is saying setup configured successfully. So with this, we have successfully created a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now what we're going to do is, it is saying waiting for a webhook response, and in the notes it is saying do a test submission / record. So in order to do this test submission or record, I'm just going to go towards this extensions Pabbly Connect webhooks, and we are simply going to switch on this button which is send on event. So it is a really important step to switch on this button which is send on event, because once we are going to switch on this button, what is going to happen is that whenever now a new event is going to occur in your spreadsheet, automatically this workflow is going to get triggered because the details would be sent towards your webhook URL. Alright, so I'm simply going to do the test submission now. I'm just going to enter the customer name. We are just going to enter the product purchased. I'm just going to enter the skin type and then the concerns right over here. And after entering all of these details, with this we have successfully did the test submission. And now these details have been sent towards my webhook URL, which is towards my workflow. So I'm just going to open my workflow right from here, and we're just going to wait for a few seconds till Pabbly is going to capture the response of the test submission which we made right now. Alright, so I'm just going to open my workflow, and as you can see that Pabbly has successfully captured the response. You can see the product purchased, you can see the customer name and the concerns. Also, you can see the trigger column and the rest of the details. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our trigger step, and now whenever I'm just going to add these 4 details right over here in my spreadsheet, automatically this workflow is going to get triggered. So now we're going to move on further. Now what I want is, I want to use an AI agent to auto-generate Google Docs care instructions. So I'm just going to select my action application as my AI agent, which is OpenAI. So I'm just going to search for OpenAI right over here and select it. And now for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as ChatGPT and click on this connect. And now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your OpenAI account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this, select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now it is asking me for the token. So to get this token, I'm simply going to follow the help text, and it is saying kindly visit your OpenAI API key page to get the API key that you need to enter here. So I'm simply going to go towards my OpenAI API key page to get the API key. And once I'm just going to open this OpenAI API key page to get the API key, we are simply going to click on this create new secret key button. And now it is asking me for the key name. So over here, I'm just going to enter my key name, which is care instructions. So I'm just going to enter the key name right over here. And as you can see that I've simply entered my key name, and I'm just going to select the project and click on this green button which says create secret key. And now my key has been created. So I'm simply going to copy this key, and then we're going to paste this key right over here in our workflow. And now after pasting this key, I'm simply going to click on this blue button which says save. And once we're going to click on this save, with this we have successfully connected our OpenAI account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it is asking me to select the AI model. So I'm simply going to select my AI model as GPT-4o mini. You can select any another of your choice. Now we're going to move on forward. I'm just going to enter the prompt right over here. So as you can see that I've simply entered my prompt right over here. And now I'm just going to enter the input details so that my AI agent can generate the care instructions accordingly. So I'm just going to enter all of these details, but we are not going to enter the details manually by typing it like this, but instead we're going to map it. So you must be wondering what is mapping. So mapping is a method by Pabbly, which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step, where we selected Google Sheets as our trigger application. So we are simply going to map the details from the response of our trigger application only. And as soon as we're going to map these details, automatically my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. Alright, so I'm simply going to first map the customer name right over here. So I'm just going to look for customer name and map it. Then I'm just going to map the product right over here. We're going to move on further. I'm just going to map the skin type right over here. We're going to move on forward, and I'm just going to map the concerns too. And after mapping all of these details, we're going to move on forward and click on this blue button which says save and send test request. And once we're going to click on this save and send test request, automatically my AI agent is going to generate me the care instructions. And as you can see, AI agent has successfully generated me the care instructions. And now I'm just going to add these care instructions into a Google Doc and back again into my Google Sheets. So to do this, I'm simply going to add another action step. And now for the action application, we are simply going to select it as Google Docs. And after selecting this for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as create a blank document and click on this connect. And now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your Google Docs account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now we have to click on this blue button which says sign in with Google. And once we're going to click on this blue button, Pabbly is asking me to select my Gmail account, with the help of which I'm just going to connect my Google Docs. So I'm simply going to select my Gmail account right over here. And now Pabbly is asking me for some permissions. So I'm simply going to click on this allow and give Pabbly all the permissions it is asking for, because my data is secure with Pabbly. And with this, we have successfully connected our Google Docs account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it is asking me for the document name. So I want the document name to be the name of my client right over here. And then I'm just going to add a static information right over here, which is care instructions. And after adding this, we are simply going to click on this blue button which says save and send test request. And yes, with this, we have successfully created this blank document, and I'm just going to add the care instructions in this blank document now. For that, I'm just going to add another action step. And now for the action application, I'm simply going to select it as Google Docs. And now over here, I'm just going to select it. And after selecting this for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as append a paragraph to a document and click on this connect. Once again, it is asking me for the same. So I've recently connected my Google Docs account. So I'm simply going to click on this select existing connection and then save. And once we're going to click on this save, it is asking me to select the document. So over here, I can select the document like this, but then this field will remain static. So I'm just going to make this field dynamic. For that, I'm just going to switch on this mapping button, and we're just going to map the document ID from the response of our previous step. So I'm just going to look for document ID in the response of my previous step and map it. And after mapping this, we're going to move on further. I'm just going to insert the text which I want to add in this document, which is the OpenAI generated care instructions. So I'm simply going to map this right over here and click on this blue button which says save and send test request. And once we're going to do this, with this, we have successfully added these care instructions into this document. And now I'm just going to add this document into my spreadsheet. But to add this document right over here in my spreadsheet, I first have to make this document a shareable one. So we're just going to use Google Drive to make this document a shareable one. So I'm just going to look for Google Drive and select it. And now for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as share a file with anyone and click on this connect. And now it's asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your Google Drive account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me and click on add a new connection. Now we have to click on this blue button which says sign in with Google. And once you're going to click on this sign in with Google, Pabbly is going to ask you to select your Gmail account. Further, it is going to ask you some permissions, and you can click on this allow and your Google Drive account will be connected. I've already connected my Google Drive account, so I'm simply going to go towards this select existing connection and then save right over here. And once we're going to click on this save, with this, we have successfully connected our Google Drive account. And once again, it is asking me to select the file. So once again, I'm just going to simply map it. So I'm just going to switch on this mapping button and map this document ID over here. And once we're going to map this, with this, we have successfully made this field as dynamic too. And after doing this, what we're going to do is I'm simply going to click on this save and send test request. And once we're going to click on this save and send test request, we have received the positive response that we have successfully made this document a shareable one, and we have received the web view link. So now I'm just going to map this web view link in my Google Sheets. For that, I'm just going to add another action step, select my action application as Google Sheets. And now for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as update cell value and click on this connect. Once again, it is asking me for the same. So I've already connected my Google Sheets account. So I'm simply going to go towards this select existing connection and then save right over here. And once we're going to click on this save, it is asking me to select the spreadsheet. So here you can see the name of my spreadsheet is product orders. So I'm just going to select the same, and then for the sheet I'm just going to select it as sheet 1. And now it is asking me to enter the range of the sheet that needs to be updated. Example, the column name plus the row index. So I want to update this, which is E4, right? So I'm simply going to enter E4 right over here. But we can't enter this E4 like this, because what is going to happen is that right now it is E4, but with every new response received it is going to change. It will be E5, E6, E7 and so on, right? But you can notice that the E is constant, only the row index is changing. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to keep the column as static, but I'm just going to map the row index because the row is changing with every new response received. And now it is asking me to enter the value in this range. So that is the web view link. So I'm simply going to map it from the response of my Google Drive and click on this save and send test request. And as you can see that we have received a positive response right over here that we have successfully added this web view link in our spreadsheet. So I'm just going to open my spreadsheet, and as you can see, the care instructions for sample client has been added right over here. And now further my team can review it and then send it towards my client. So yes, with this we have successfully completed this workflow, and like I showed you in the starting of this video, whenever I'm just going to add all of these 4 details, automatically my AI agent is going to generate me the care instructions, and further that care instructions will be added into your spreadsheet. So yes, with this we have successfully completed this workflow and this video too. And now go try this amazing automation for your own business too, because right now we are offering a free 100 task in your Pabbly Connect account. And while trying, if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. See you in the next video with many more automation tips, everyone. Thank you for watching.
So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can connect many more applications. So now if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this URL. And now go try this amazing automation for your own business too, because right now we are offering a free trial of Pabbly Connect.